Yeah, it was wild. I think we all have similar stories when it comes to the pandemic because so much of our lives were shut down, as independent artists. And even if you're on a major label, artists in general, literally you make music, you hit the road, you go out and promote it, you get with the people, you shake hands, kiss babies, all of that stuff stopped, So I think there was a plethora of music created because everyone was just home. So people were home making tons of music, but no one was able to go out and perform it and sell merch to people hand to hand. Yeah, you can sell merch online, but selling merch hand to hand after the show and building with people. And even like you guys' platform, people would come to Chicago and they would stop in your studio for a couple hours and build with you guys and sit down. And you guys got this amazing setup and would be a part of that. And all that was over, that was temporarily dead. So we all got the same story when it comes to that. I had plans of Europe, South Africa, another US run. I had all these plans set up. All this stuff was done. All right, we're going to Europe in May. We're going to South Africa in April, right before we go in May to Europe. We're going to do the States again in the summer. Everything was lined up, man. And, it all just stopped. It felt like March 11th when the NBA shut down. It was just boom. Like everything was kind of in flux. Like, well, maybe. I remember I had a show in New York the end of March that was, set up for me to go. And it was like, well, we're going to do the show. Yeah, everything's still cool. Okay, we're going to go. And then March 11th, boom, shut down. Everything was like, well, that's it. Everything is stopped. Flights, everything stopped. When the NBA shut down that night, Rudy Gobert, when that happened, everything stopped. And just to fast forward a little bit into the middle of the pandemic, I didn't have any studio access because down here in Atlanta, I got a handful of studios that I use and all of them were closed. All of them had shut down indefinitely. I didn't have any studio access. So I've been talking about it for a while because I have this basement at my house and this man cave that I built in this open space. And I've been talking about it for a while. And I said, man, I got to finally do this studio thing. For a long time, I was saying I was going to do it. And I just went on guitarcenter.com and just dumbed out and bought everything at one time. Just swipe it once, boom, and ordered everything. And a week later, I was up running and I was recording. And this is my basement. This is where I recorded, half the album. The second half of the album that was left to be done was right here, sitting right here at this computer, right, knocking out. So that was dope. That was one of the few good things that came out of COVID. But we're all just trying to get to a space of being healthy and being back to normal of some ways of shape, some sort of normalcy and getting back to life, hitting this road, getting back to people like y'all in Chicago and different things, like just getting back with our peoples and kicking it and doing what we got to do and bringing this music to life. But yeah, that was the COVID element. I mean, there's other elements as well if you want to get into, but that was the COVID side for sure. The good thing about that, though, was being home with my family. Thank God we were safe. We didn't have any real COVID scares at all. I lost some family, like cousins and things like that down the line, but, nobody that was in my house, so thank God for that. And being home with my family was dope, with my whiz and my seed and all that. That was great, just every day. But other than that, it was just like probably the same story you got, man. Like, all right, here we go again. More Netflix. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was mainly music and family, a lot of reading and a lot of binge watching things, and all that stuff creates creativity, for lack of a better term. It spawns creativity. You'll watch something and read something and it'll inspire you to do something like this, which inspires that, which inspires the record. It's a domino effect. It's never just one thing. It's kind of a domino effect. You got those lights up, the light may inspire you with this, and then that may make you think of that, and then that may make you think of something else that you create that changes everything for you or changes the world, so that's part of it. But yeah, I being home with my family was dope. Being with them every day, that was dope. But I think the unknown for all of us was the scary part. Like unknown, like what's next? Where are we going? How close are we to getting back to normal? How safe are we if we go to the supermarket and get eggs and milk and bread? Like what's going on? It was really kind of a fog and a limbo for all of us, no matter where you live, where you're from. It was always in limbo for a long time. I think we're finally coming out of that. The vaccine did a ton of it. I don't judge people who do or don't have it. I have it. I got the vaccine a couple months ago. it makes you feel more comfortable moving around a little bit, but I move as if I didn't get the vaccine. So I still mask up everywhere. I still sanitize. I leave one in the car. As soon as I get back in the car, I hit it, boom. You know what I mean? Like I act as if I didn't get it, but I got it. You know what I mean? So it's just me being double safe. And you know, that was that element, man. As far as all the other stuff, making the album, man, there was so much going on. You know, the first week that I started making the album, August 2019, I had a back injury that no one knew about. I didn't really talk about it until later. I pulled something in my back and I was down for like 2 weeks. So the first week, I'm literally writing the first record, which was Free Jewelry. You know, the first record on the album is usually the first song I write. You know, that's kind of how I always mentally go into it. Okay, we starting the album, let's start with track 1. Let's start right at the beginning of the book. So I'm writing Free Jewelry, and then when I go in the booth to record it, I'm leaning on the wall of the booth, and I pull the mic closer to me, and I'm rhyming, leaning on the wall. I'm using the wall as a brace almost. And that was day 1 of recording the album. You know what I mean? So it started out with a bang. Like, oh my gosh, my back is killing me. Like I just pulled something, and it was awful for 2 weeks, but I had a job to do. So I'm leaning on the wall, holding the phone, rhyming, reading off of it while I can't move because it was so excruciating as far as the pain. That happened, and then, you know, I had vocal cord surgery, so, you know, I couldn't record for a while. I couldn't speak for a month because I had to recover from vocal cord surgery, so I got that done, and they wanted to make sure it wasn't cancerous, which it wasn't, thank God. They took the polyp off and everything's cool, but I lost some time to that. I was nervous about it, but I knocked it out. Thank God, everything was beautiful and peaceful. And then my grandma's passed like a month and a half after that, and that rocked my whole family and I. We still deal with that. That was September of 2020, so still deal with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like it just happened. You know, even though it's been a little while, it's kind of like it just happened. So that really rocked me. All that was going on, and I just had to keep writing and pushing and, you know, all that type of stuff. And but thank God, rocked out and made what people are calling a masterpiece, made what people are calling a magnum opus and the best album of the year. And, you know, so it all came from a lot of work. Even the crazy thing is, even I was mixing the album, man, and I'm driving to my man's studio. I'm mixing the album. I'm parking the car and I pull up to the curb. This is the last day of mixing. Like when I leave here, I got the mixes on a flash drive and I can email them to the mastering dude and we could be done. And I'm parking the car and my tire rubs up ever so lightly against the curb. Then I blow the tire. The last day of mixing the album. Like it was crazy, man. My engineer was like, yo, everything that could happen during this album happened. You know what I mean? Like everything. But here we are.